Lions TV, this is your pre-match prediction for Saturday's away trip to Norwich City at Carrow Road. Norwich currently sit joint top of the Championship. We are yet to win away from home this season, and we haven't won at Carrow Road since 1968. Whew, it's going to be a long day. Let's take a look at the 11 that will start the match. I think the Gaffer's 11 is going to be too tough to call, so I'm going to give you the 11 that I'd pick. It'll be Ben Amos in goal, Conor McLaughlin at right back, James Meredith at left back. Central defence is self-explanatory. Central midfield, same goes there. Left midfield, I'd go with Jed Wallace. Right midfield, I'd go with Yuri Skalak. And up front, Tom Bradshaw and Lee Gregory. That's the 11 that I'll go with, and now I'm going to tell you why I'd make the change that I'd make. Marlon Romeo is a fantastic talent. He's a brilliant prospect. He's going to go a long way in football, and he's very exciting to watch when he goes forward. But I've got to be completely honest with you, I don't think he's a great defender. I think a lot of traffic comes down his side. I think a lot of goals you can put down to him this season. He's given a couple of penalties away that, okay, may or may not have been penalties, but I think his whole positional sense and his defensive work in general has had a big influence on those penalties and says a lot about the sort of defender he is. I'm not going to dig him out because, as I said, he's a fantastic talent and a great player to watch going forward. But primarily, a right-back's job is to defend, and I don't think he's the best defender. I think, you know, you look at players like Gary Neville, I refer to him a lot. He's had a fantastic career through doing not a lot. And when I say not a lot, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. If you're not noticing your right-back or your left-back is out on the pitch, I think they're off doing their job, because a lot of the time their job is going to be to contain the winger, the tricky, exciting player they're playing against. And I think if you don't notice a defender, right back or a left back is there, I think pretty much it's their job done. Marlon Romeo, I think, should make way for Conor McLaughlin, if I'm honest. Okay, McLaughlin may not be as exciting going forward. He may not be as quick as Marlon Romeo. But I think, you know, we're going to be up against it, Sally. Let's have it right. And I think that experienced defenders like Conor McLaughlin don't grow on trees. And I really feel he deserves his chance. On the opposite side to that, Murray Wallace hasn't done a lot wrong, to be fair, Murray Wallace. But I just think I feel more confident. I think the fans feel more confident, and the other defenders around him are going to feel more confident if Meza comes back into the side. As I said, the centre half is self-explanatory, as is the central midfield pairing of Leonard and Williams. But what Leonard and Williams could do, and it's playing influence on me picking the wingers I picked, is they can both play football. And I'd love to see them get the ball. You see Williams do it time and again on the floor, spread it wide to the left midfielder, to the right midfielder, to Jed and to Skalak, to run at defenders and get balls into the box. Skalak could have been a bit of a controversial one there, and people may be thinking that I've been a bit harsh on Shane Ferguson, or I know Brian should be coming back in. I think we need width. I think we need to start using Tom Bradshaw to the best of his ability. And, you know, people saying that Bradshaw and Gregory can't play together. How do we know that? Okay, they're similar sorts of players, but if we don't play the long ball and we get balls out wide and balls into the box, then I think by all means we can definitely create the chances for those two poachers to score goals. Gregory started to do it, and I just think that now's the time that Bradshaw deserves his run on the side. It's no disrespect to Tom Elliott or Shane Ferguson. What they've both done is absolutely fantastic. They've come in the side and they've really upped their game. But if I'm honest, I don't think it's going to last with either of them. I think, you know, in time, the levels that they're showing, I think will drop off. And I just think that Skalak, although he looks a little bit lightweight at times, I think he needs a fair run of games. And I think he's got a fantastic delivery, as can Jed have on his day as well. And I just think time to play more football is definitely upon us. Get the balls wide, get balls in the box, and let Bradshaw and Gregory do the business. Having said all that I've just said, I've got a funny feeling the Gaffer's going to play Aidan O'Brien on left midfield, and I think he's going to play Steve Morrison up front. It's a tough one because they're a good side, and it's going to be a very difficult afternoon. And if we don't get any sort of result, the fans will point to the team selection. But this is the job we're in. That's the manager's job, and if he gets it wrong, he'll have to wear it. If he gets it right and picks my side, he can thank me later. Moving on to the opposition, of course, Norwich City, managed by German Daniel Farke. And he nearly fucked it right up last season. A few of their fans wanted him out. They didn't have the most successful season. But it just shows you the faith in keeping hold of the same manager, and, of course, a huge bank balance to spend, can do for a club and a manager and a team. They are flying at the minute. They currently sit second in the Championship, only on goal difference. As I said, they spent big over the summer. Obviously, of course, Ben Marshall, they bought, can't get anywhere near the side. So it looks like it could have been a wrong move for him. But they won't be worrying about him too much. They'll be worrying about the team as a whole. Last time out, they won 4-0 at Sheffield Wednesday, and they are looking very, very good. The one to watch for them is the finisher, Teemu Pukki, the 28-year-old, joined in the summer from Bromby after previous spells at Celtic and Schalke, and he scored 7 goals in 13 games, and that took me about 8 takes to get right. But there you go, he's the one to watch at Carrow Road, Teemu Pukki. Before we move on to the predictions, it's our new section. He played for both. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? He still plays for us. He is the Silver Fox, Super Stevie Morrison. We sold him to Norwich in 2011 for around £2.8 million. He went on to play in the Premiership for Norwich, and he scored 10 goals in 53 games for Norwich before moving on to Leeds, and he'll be looking to inflict some damage against his former club on Saturday, just like he did there last season. So this is your pre-match prediction show, and now I'm going to have to give you a scoreline, but what I'm going to do first is absolutely bottle it and let the other boys go first.
Pre-match prediction for Saturday's away trip to Norwich. You'll actually have to go back to 1968, the last time we won at Carrow Road. That's 50 years ago, and we've actually played them 20 times since then in all competitions at Carrow Road without a win. So not a happy hunting ground for us, but law of averages would say that it's got to change sooner or later. You think we'd get a win, but I can't see it, I'm afraid. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, and that's me being optimistic. Really can't see us winning there, so I'm going to go with a draw, and I think Williams to get the goal. Come on, you Lions.
It's Matt the Mods from Lions TV. Pre-match prediction, Norwich away. I think this is going to be one awful game of football. I feel it's going to be time some record books will be written. I believe we're going to be quick smash and grab, coup our set piece just before half time, and I think we're going to see the second half out 1-0 away win, Millwall.
I'm afraid I'm seeing a bit of a heavy defeat coming on for some reason. Well, I know what reason. I reckon 3-0 to Norwich. Again, Millwall like the Jekyll and Hyde team they are. I'm not sure what team's going to turn up on Saturday, but Norwich are flying at the moment, and we're in a downward spiral. So yeah, 3-0 to Norwich. Can't see, like I say, nothing out of the game at all whatsoever. So 3-0 Norwich. Come on, you Lions.
Well, there you go. I think we can all agree it's going to be a very, very difficult day at the office for us. I want to say we're going to win the game, because if ever we're going to win an away game, it's on the back of winning no away games against a team we're never expected to beat. That's just the Millwall way. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a bridge too far for us this Saturday, and I think we could be on the receiving end of a 3-1 defeat. So that's your lot for this pre-match prediction. Before we wrap up, I was supposed to give this away this week, but I haven't done it. I'm sorry. That will go to a subscriber of the channel on Sunday in the post-match analysis video. But before that, we've got to go to Norwich. We've got to try and get something from a very good side. I'll see you there if you're going. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.